Here I stand, light-footed, at the edge of the world, unchained, untethered, the soles of my feet barely touching the ground. Gravity's become cloudy now. Nothing is holding me back anymore. In truth, only one thing would. Always was and is and always be. My choice alone that ever could. For what I choose to surround will either free or bound. And the choice for either one is within
Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Wherever you are, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, pets, animals, whoever and whatever is listening in, this is Astros coming at you from East Hiroshima. Living on the same plane that you are, that is the flat baseball field of the Houston Astros, underneath the Astrodome, which contains Daikin Park, the United States of America, all of Earth, even here in Japan. It's all Astros all the time. I've got a new microphone connected right now. As you can see, this little thing right in front of me here. And I'm gonna have to get used to it because maybe when I get closer or further away, the volume will change. The good thing about this is if I want to get excited and yell or say something a little louder, then maybe the mic won't clip because I can just lean back or I can lean away or whatever. But I think that I have some settings to adjust. It sounds like you can hear my fan a little better. And maybe you can hear if I lean closer, I think it sounds a lot better, but if I get it too close to the, I think you can hear it if it's too close to the laptop. And if it's yeah, it definitely sounds better when I get close to it. I try to lean it away from my I want to try to get it away from my laptop. Yeah, that's a little better, as long as I don't touch it. Okay, maybe that's a little better. Let's see. Daryl, welcome in. Good to see you here. Yeah, all is well for me right now. How about you? I hope everything's going well for you. And I definitely hope that Fromber gets it done today. That'd be nice. Sherry, good to see you here. Gregory, good morning to you too. Arvada, Colorado. I bet you the weather up there is pretty nice right now. That's just my guess. You can let me know. Ed, welcome in. Let's go Astros indeed. You have to work for most of the game. Does that mean that you're going to be just listening in when you can, or are you able to listen while you're working? Oh, I see. Yeah, I saw the results of a lot of the college games yesterday. I was actually able to watch the end of the LSU Florida game. Overall, I would say that I'm disappointed in the Tigers' defense. I mean, offense, but their defense is still solid. Best defense that I've seen so far this year. Yeah, it's nice outside. Okay, that's good. There are a couple of new things. On my layout. I rearranged a couple of things and I moved some things around. I can draw your attention to that right now. Let's see here. Let me turn that down just a little bit. Okay. All right. If you notice on the left side of the screen, there is a score box. And that score box cycles through all of the baseball games for today. And if there happens to be a Houston Texans game, it also will show the score to the Houston Texans game. So, for example, tomorrow, while the Astros are playing their first game against the Strangers, simultaneously, there's a game in Houston, right? It's kind of funny that they have them scheduled like that, but I think that in Houston they're going to have the football game starting about 1 hour after the Astros start, if I'm not mistaken. So because of the conflict, I was thinking about that. How can I put some information on the screen for you guys? And so I worked out an API that pulls not only the other baseball scores in the league and puts them on the screen, but it also pulls the Texans. You can actually see it right there on the screen right now on the left where it says the Buccaneers and the Texans. But basically, I wanted you guys and gals to be able to see the scores from the other games that are going on. And there are different ways that I can do that. One of those ways is that I can just capture somebody else's live score screen. But I don't like doing that. I like to have my own original live score. So I worked with ChatGPT quite late last night to come up with a few solutions, and that's what we came up with right there. Was the score, the live score ticker that you see on the left side. It took several hours to get it done, but it was worth it, I think. The cool thing is that it can be modified easily to do some other things. So I can use it for more than just the ticker on this screen. Gregory says action-packed 15-minute highlights after results of the game for the Aggies. And Prodigy says the Bayou Bengals really have a stern test next week against Southeast Louisiana. Yes, indeed. It's just another opportunity for them to try to work out their offense. Maybe they can finally put up a decent amount of points and get the kinks worked out. You know what I'm saying? Because the defense is there. The defense is stellar, but the offense still needing some time to work it out. Ron, welcome in. Good day to you too. And thank you, sir, for your hard work. Otsukare-sama desu. And let's sweep this series today. I got my broom hanging on the wall. You can't see it, but I've got it hanging on the wall. And actually, I have one broom hanging on the wall inside and one hanging on the broom right outside the door of the house. It's my porch broom. So I got a couple of brooms hanging up, just waiting for that sweep. Gregory says, I think the Texans are the underdog in their Game 2 match. Okay. I hope everyone is doing really well today. It's about 2:30 in the morning here. I sure hope so, Prodigy. I'm not as sold on Garrett Nussmeier as everybody else is. They've been heaping praises on him for the past couple of years. They keep talking about how he's going to be a Heisman candidate. He can do this, he can do that. And he's not a bad quarterback. It's just that he's definitely no Jaden Daniels. He's definitely no Joe Burrow. And they keep trying to kind of hype him up like he is that, but he's not. And he's never going to be. I mean, he might get better in the NFL, but he won't be. I'm afraid he won't be. So hot for the Tigers. Hang on a second, I'm trying to get For some reason, my preview screen got all wonky. In the game preview screen, I'm getting, instead of the game in the preview screen, I'm getting the live chat. It's showing me the live chat. That makes 0 sense. 0 sense. How much sense? 0 level sense. I think I've almost got it worked out here. Almost there. How about that? Looks nice. All right, let's go over the lineup real quick. That's what they're talking about right now. Today for the Astros, we've got Pena leading it off, followed by Alvarez, who's DH today. Carlos Correa is at third base, batting third. Third and third. Christian Walker's batting cleanup today. Jake Myers batting fifth in center field. Yainer Diaz is catching, batting sixth. Whoops. Cam Smith in right field, batting seventh. Zach Cole back in left field, batting eighth. And Dubon batting ninth. Jeremy Pena is now at the plate. Here comes the first pitch of the game. 94 at the top of the zone. Man, that was a strike. Clearly a strike, but the umpire liked it. Strike one. Here comes the toss. This is hit high in the air. Is it going to be playable? No, it's back and out of play. 1 ball, 1 strike to Pena. The only thing that I know about Altuve's foot is that he had some discomfort, but we all know that word in Houston, right? I haven't heard anything deeper than that. Here's the toss. Pena fouls it off again. 94 right on the outside edge, and the count is 1-2. Absolutely. Score early, put it away. Mariners got lucky again yesterday. I think they've won 7 in a row. That's nuts. Isn't it amazing that they won 7 in a row and we're still in first place? It's like no matter what they do, they just can't quite get it. It's fine by me. Let them keep struggling. They got to lose one of these days. Pena fouls that one back. A slider right in the zone. Can the Astros and Texans win in the same day? Ed wants to know. Well, we're going to find out. We're going to find out. Yeah, he's swinging the bat right now, fouling it off. Straighten it out and get a hit here. Here comes the pitch. Check swing, did he go? Yes, he did. That's strike 3. Okay. Home plate umpire says he went around. That was kind of strange. Yeah, he went around. Alvarez at the plate with nobody on. 94 right down in there. He fouls it off too. Yeah, Brendan, we know that they're playing tomorrow. We established that earlier. They're playing at the same time as the Astros will be playing the Strangers. Well, Not at the exact same time. They start about an hour later. The Astros start an hour later, that is. 1 ball, 1 strike to Alvarez. Here's the toss. Right in the bottom of the zone. Nice curveball. Strike 2. 1 and 2 is the count. Here comes the pitch. That's hit hard to right field. Is it going to be playable? No, Acuna can't get to it. He slides and it bounces off of him. Alvarez is going to hustle to second, and he's going to get in there just barely with a double. Nice. It's hits like that that you wish, makes you wish that we had more guys batting before Alvarez instead of after him. Jordan was lollygagging to first base. He barely got into second. He was barely even jogging to first. 78 miles an hour right there. Right in there. Curveball to Carlos Correa. Strike 1. Here comes the next toss. Below the zone. 1-1. I'm getting tired of seeing, if other MLB players want to do it, fine and dandy, I don't care. But I'm tired of seeing the Astros lollygag when they hit a grounder or a fly ball. They just like kind of half jog to first like it's an automatic out. This is hit out to right field, but foul. Right there, Jordan came within just a second, less than a second of getting thrown out at second base because he thought that was a fly out to right field. He's darn lucky that he was able to get on base. 1 out. Here comes the toss. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Correa. Jordan is moderately fast, but he could have been into second standing up completely safely if he had been running to first base even at a steady speed, because his jog was barely a jog, and that's not an exaggeration. If you go back and look at it, you can see that. Two balls and 2 strikes to Correa. Here comes the pitch. Strike 3. 87 at the bottom of the zone on the changeup. Correa takes it. So Jordan gets on second. But Pena goes down with a check swing and Correa goes down looking. And that brings up Mr. Walker. First pitch is in there for strike 1. Make sure you go ahead and drop a thumbs up on the live play-by-play right below the video if you haven't already. Swing and a miss. 87 mile per hour changeup below the zone. Walker behind in the count. 0-2. Here comes the next pitch. Above the zone. Taken for ball 1. 1 hit for the Astros in the first. Jordan camping out on second, making s'mores, waiting on somebody to bring him in. Here comes the pitch to Walker, the 1-2. That's high also, 2-2. Prodigy, I agree. It's not asking too much for all of the Astros to rake for 3 days in a row after the lack of raking. You know what I'm saying? Those leaves are piling up outside. Oof. Line drive right through the Astros dugout. Walker trying to injure his own guys. (105.4 miles an hour). Here's the next pitch. This is hit up the middle. Is it going to get down? Yes, it is. All right. Jordan is being waved around. Walker comes through just for Gregory and the rest of us too. But primarily for Gregory. I could have sworn that just now at first base when Christian Walker got over there, he told the first base coach, hey, that was for Gregory. Let him know. 95 mile per hour fastball. Right up the middle. Perfectly placed. 1-0 Stros. 2 hits. That's the way to do it. Jake the Rake, speaking of rakes, Jake the Rake is at the plate. Takes that first pitch for strike one. Second one is in the dirt. Sarcastic Prodigy. Walker was aiming for Fromberg, was he? Hey, maybe if he hits him, it'll make him angry when he comes out and he pitches better. Who knows? Here comes the 1-1 to Myers. 86 at the bottom of the zone. We might see a 30-pitch inning, Gregory, if Myers can work the count. It might happen. Joey Wentz, the pitcher for the Braves, he is at 24 pitches. Here comes the 25th. He takes that one, little check swing. He didn't go. I don't know why they bothered appealing that one. Grasping at straws there, my friend. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Christian Walker on first base. Astros already up 1-0. Jumping on him early. Here's the toss. Ooh, low and inside on the corner. Called a ball. It is a full count. Look how close that was. Boom. Could have been called a strike, but it was more outside the zone than in, so I'm not going to argue with that. Here comes a full count pitch. Jake the Take strikes out. That one was on the inside edge. You can't get lucky all the time. If it's close to the zone, you got to swing, bro. Myers got lucky on that pitch before that, but on that one, the umpire's like, no, I'm not gonna give you another golden coin. We almost get the pitcher to 30 pitches. He came just shy. I think 26, 27. Something like that. Something like that. Dang indeed. Goodness gracious. Let me see if I can type this microphone here. Audio out capture source. Filters. Filters. Click on the plus icon. Noise suppression. Let's try that. Limiter. -5. All right, let's try that. Does that sound better, guys and gals? Does that sound better? I forgot that I didn't have the noise suppression on. That's why I think it sounded much worse than it should be. Fromber has a ground ball to third base. He puts away the first batter, Jerickson Profar. I missed the first 2 pitches because I was busy trying to get the settings straightened out on my microphone. Ron, it doesn't have anything to do with moving it away from my mouth because I've got a fan going over there, and my laptop is right here, and you can actually hear the fans in my laptop. It's because I didn't have the noise suppression on. I was just playing around with those settings. The next batter is at the plate. This is Matt Olson. He's batting .271 for the season. 24 home runs. Let's take one away from him. Make it -23. This one's hit hard into right field. It could be gone. Look at that. He just hit another home run. Can you believe that? It's 1-1. Fromber Valdez gives up a home run to Matt Olson. Holy cow, the very first pitch, 95-mile-per-hour sinker right inside. And he just golfs it out there. That looked like a Kyle Tucker swing all the way up onto the porch up there. All that work that the Astros did to get 1 run, and then there's just 1 swing in the second, or in the bottom of the first. And it's tied up. Acuna Jr. is at the plate with 1 out, nobody on. Swing and a miss. Strike 1. Next pitch is on the way. Fouled off again. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Picks up a 3-pitch strikeout. So Fromber gets the ground out, gives up the home run, then a 3-pitch strikeout. It looks like we have good Fromber and bad Fromber at the same time right now. 95 miles an hour on that outside edge, strike 1. Gregory can see it now. Braves get Fromber next year. Here's the toss. This is hit out to right field. Cam is over, but he runs out of room. 0-2 is the count. I can see him going to the NL, but I can't see him playing for the Braves. I don't think he wants to be in that location. Here comes the next pitch, the 0-2. That's in the dirt. 1 ball, 2 strikes. I can't wait to get my room in there finished. I did a lot of cleaning in there yesterday, trying to get it ready. As soon as I can get it ready, get out of here and I can get more comfortable. Outside, 2-2. Here comes the 2-2 pitch to Albies. He taps that foul at the plate. The count remains 2-2. How many people do we have viewing right now, and how many likes on the live stream? We got about 63 people viewing and 30 likes. That's just barely 50%. Drop a like. Hit that thumbs up if you haven't done it. Arigato gozaimasu. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. Outside again. He had him 0-2. And now we got the full count. Three balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, nobody on. Here's the toss to Albies. He hits that one straight up in the air. It's on the infield. Walker comes in. Dubon takes it. Well, we're tied up 1-1. 2 hits for the Astros. One hit for the Braves. I'm going to see if I can play around with my mic settings again. I was just wondering if I could make the sound a little warmer, a little nicer. It definitely cut out all of the background noise there, the fan and the laptop. So that's good. But it makes it incredibly quiet. I think my voice sounds just slightly computerized. Maybe there's a way that I can improve that. I'll do some tweaking as we go along. The cool thing is that whenever I lean in and talk like this, it sounds really great, doesn't it? Okay. Top of the second. Yainer Diaz at the plate. Here comes the first pitch. 92 at the top of the zone, swing and a miss. Wondering what in the world is going on here. Why can't I move my mouse around? My phone is sitting there in front of it. No wonder. It's dark in here. I can't see it. Here's a 0-1 pitch. That one was almost in the dirt. Yainer went after it and fouled it off down the third baseline. Next pitch will be Wentz's 30th of the game. Let's hope the Astros can wear him out. Here comes the 0-2. Oh my gosh, are you kidding me? That one was in the dirt again. That one kicked up some chalk. Diaz went after it. Swing and a miss. 3-pitch strikeout. What in the world are you thinking about, Mr. Diaz? Daryl, I don't need a glowing mouse. I have one. I I have a glowing mouse. Cam Smith is at the plate, takes that first pitch for strike one. Here comes the next pitch. Low below the zone on the changeup. 1 ball, 1 strike to Cam. His batting average is all the way down to 239. Grounded foul down the third base side. This crowd is really, really quiet. I actually have a glowing keyboard and a glowing mouse. You can't see it where my arm is resting right now. I have a really large mouse pad. Line drive on the right side, but caught by Olsen at first base. The guy who just homered. That's kind of reverse, right? He gets the big hit and then the big defensive play instead of the other way around. Zach Cole comes to the plate. Batting 8th. Here's the pitch. A little below the zone. Ball 1. 1-0. 85 up and in, swing and a miss. 1 ball, 1 strike. Mr. Page, you're right about that. Art Bell. Classic radio voice. Very nice radio voice. 95 miles an hour. Swing and a miss. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Cole with 2 outs, nobody on. Cole, can you give us that run back? Take that run back, please. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. Whoo! That was at the bottom of the zone. Should have been strike 3, but a 95 mile per hour fastball in the bottom of the zone and was called a ball. It's 2-2. Here comes the toss. Below the zone in the dirt. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Let's hope that Cole doesn't go the Myers route and take another one of those. He's not going to get lucky twice. Here comes the 3-2. Fouled off on the third base side and into the crowd. By the way, Mr. Page, it's good to see you. Welcome in. Thanks for joining. Three balls and 2 strikes to Mr. Cole. Zach King Cole strikes out. 95 up and in. Should have been ball 4. That one was way up and in. And he went after it. It could have been a walk, but coulda, shoulda, woulda. Fromberg will be back on the mound here in just a moment. He's up to 15 pitches. 10 of those were in the zone. Ha-Sung Kim will be batting, followed by Marcel Ozuna, Michael Harris II. You're welcome, Mr. Page. Let me reload the page here. Speaking of page, let's see what we've got going on. $83 people watching. It has crept up. We should have over 60 likes. Right now, there are only 38. That's not even 50%. By the way, I did a little bit of research yesterday on my video, my recent live streams, and I noticed that the vast majority of people listening in are not subscribed. And I don't quite understand that. If so many people are going to come in, and yesterday we had over 1,000 people, sometimes the live stream can have over 2,000 people. Not at one time, but total views, total unique views are usually anywhere from 1.1 thousand to over 2,000. And close to, actually usually it fluctuates between 70 and 80% of those viewers are not subscribers. And I don't quite understand that, because all of those can't be Braves fans or Rangers fans or Mariners fans or whoever we happen to be doing on the live stream, right? I expect a portion of those fans to not really be fans of either team, because they're just checking it out to see the outcome of the game because it matters for their team's race, right? But some of those, a lot of those, are Astros fans. And that they're not subscribing is really kind of crazy to me. 94, up and out. Could have been a strike, called a ball. Spotted looking cool with the glasses on today. Serious. Here comes the next toss. That's a strike on the inside edge. 2 balls and 1 strike. Ha-Sung Kim has got some pretty interesting looking sunglasses on. Here comes the 2-1. Fouls it off on the third base side. Angel, man of culture, I salute you as well. Yeah, Mr. Page, it's funny because his home run came on the very first pitch, right? Very first at bat, first pitch. He didn't go deep in the count at all on that one. That was a tough play for Fromberg. Grounded on the right side. He tried to scoop it up with his glove and get a throw to first, but there was nothing he could do about that, really. If he had been able to pick it up, I don't know why he tried to pick it up with his glove. Why do you try to pick that up with your glove? Why don't you pick it up with your hand? Defensive fail. Lance McCullers would have made that play. And I'm not kidding. 1 ball, no strikes. 1 runner on first. No outs here in the bottom of the second. That's inside, 2-0. Marcell Ozuna at the plate. Kim is on first base. Yeah, it is a double play setup, that's for sure, Gregory. He fouls that one off into the crowd on the first base side. 2-1 is the count. I wouldn't mind seeing a leadoff home run for the Astros next inning. But it'll have to be Doobie, because he's the one that's due up. Doobie's due up. Doobie's due. He hasn't hit one in a while either. I thought he was getting hot with the home runs a while back, but it was just a spike. It was a pump and dump. 3 balls and 1 strike to Ozuna. Here comes the pitch from Fromber. Above the zone, ball 4. Back-to-back runners. First and second with no outs. Michael Harris, the second, comes to the plate. That's right, Prodigy. Lance McCullers does not have a goat belly. Little meeting on the mound right now. They just broke it up. Fear the Beard says, come on, Fromber, don't let the wheels fall off. That's right. It's only the second inning. You gave up a homer in the first. Can't let the wheels fall off right here. I mean, the Astros are going to score 13 runs today, so maybe it's okay. But if you want the win, you got to, hold this down. This is hit high into center field, but it's playable for Myers. Kim goes to third easily. The throw comes in to second. Ozuna stays at first. Runners on the corners with one away. Gregory, I have no idea how good those teams are. The Bills and the Jets, I have no idea. Here comes the pitch. Sandy Leon. He's a beefy guy. 0-1 is the count. Runners on the corners, one out. Let's get that ground ball double play. Hey, no, Dubon fumbles it. Everybody's safe. Dubon makes an error. It was a double play ball to Dubon, a possible double play, and Dubon fumbled it. That ball was an easy. What in the world is he doing? Dubon botched the catch, and then when he tried to pick it up, he botched that, and then he stumbled and fell down. That was like 3 errors in one. The Braves are leading now 2-1. That's got to make Fromber really happy. That's going to improve his pitching, right? Curveball's in there for strike one to Nacho Alvarez. I think that's the worst defensive play I've seen on the Astros all year long. That's crushed to left field, but okay, it's going to die. Runners stay on first and second. Cole brings it in. Good question, Daryl. What's he thinking? Here comes the pitch. Nacho takes that first pitch low. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. In the dirt. 2-0. Man, oh man. Didn't even get one out. Didn't even get one out on that play. 2 balls and no strikes. To Profar. I think I said Nacho. Nacho's on first base. 3 balls and no strikes. Here's the toss. That's in there. 94 miles an hour right in the middle. He needs to throw some screwdrivers, Gregory, instead of drinking them. 3 balls and 1 strike to Jurickson Profar. Here's the pitch. It's hit high in the air to right center. Myers is underneath it, and he puts it away. Well, I'll tell you what. It's not nearly as bad as it could have been. The Braves score 1. 1 error. 1 hit, 1 run. The one thing that the Astros definitely cannot afford to do is make mistakes on defense. I mean, their defense is freaking solid. To see them make an error like that is rare. But to see Dubon do it, it's mind-boggling. Yeah, the funny thing is on that play, I don't even see Altuve messing that one up. I don't see anybody messing that one up because it was such an easy play. Even if they couldn't have gotten the double play, they definitely had the runner at second base. They had at least one out. I don't think that Altuve could have saved the run. I don't think anybody could have saved the run unless they were able to get the double play. But the double play wasn't a guaranteed thing. It was just a possibility. However, they could have gotten at least the runner at second base. And after he fumbled the ball, if he had picked it up, he still could have thrown to first to get that out. But he missed both. Yeah, Daryl, that's exactly right. He was rushing it. But see, that's the mistake. That's the kind of mistake that Christian Walker makes whenever he has to make a quick play and that involves a little bit of thinking. He tends to make errors on those types of plays. That's why I say that he's not as good defensively as everybody says he is. I mean, of course, he can make a good scoop. He can catch a line drive. He can dive and catch the ball. Those are very straightforward and direct. Don't require any thinking. Just react. Now, here's the funny thing. When somebody makes a big defensive play, they come up with a big hit, right? When they come up in the next inning. Dubon made a terrible defensive play. Let's see what he does at the plate. First pitch in the bottom of the zone, strike one. Fromber's going to plunk Dubon. He might. 93 in the top of the zone, fouls it off. 0-2. Oh my gosh, don't put Doobie on third base. It's the last thing we need. I'd rather see him out in left field. Here's 0-2 in the dirt. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Doobie. Come on, Doobie, you got to make up for that, buddy. You may be responsible for that run, that extra run. Here comes the 1-2 pitch from Wentz. Man, that one was barely off the ground, and he fouled it off. The count remains 1-2. Here's the toss. Fouls it off, up and out on the fastball. It's nice to see that something I added on the screen is actually working. The score ticker on the screen, it's actually working. That's surprising. Doobie lines it. Short bounce up to the third baseman who throws him out at first. So Doobie does not make up for his error. One down. Back to the top of the batting order. The Flash is at the plate. Here's the next pitch. Slider, swing and a miss. 0-2 to Pena. Pena trying to strike out again, looks like. Here's the toss. He grounds this one right through the hole, just barely. There was almost no room there. Pena needles that one through. Talk about a tight space there between the third baseman and the shortstop. Could have been more perfecter. So the flash on first base, 1 out. That brings up your daddy. Jordan showed bunt and then pulled back. One ball, no strikes. Here comes the pitch. Outside. 2 balls and no strikes. Prodigy says the best makeup I ever saw was the 2017 World Series. George Springer misplayed a fly ball and the Dodgers got a run. Lazy toss to first base. Pena's back. Ah, okay. I see. So Springer came up and got a homer after that. Oh, that's hit hard out to right field and over his head off the top of the wall. Pena held at third. Nice rip to right field. Acuna tried to play it like he was going to catch it. 111.1. Acuna pretended like he was going to catch it. But Jeremy was able to see that it was going to hit the wall, and he ran around to third. South Korea at the plates. Runners on the corners with 1 out. No, that was not a bad read. Pena was standing right by second base, making sure that it was going to be off the wall. Acuna tried to hold him at second base, but he wasn't able to do it. So that was actually a good read. It worked out. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Tapped foul by Correa. The count's 1-2. Here comes the pitch. Perez Chica doing something good for a change. He fields the ground ball there. Absolutely. Plate those lobsters with extra butter in the dirt. Terrible pitch. Good take. 2-2. Now would be a good time for a homer with 2 guys on base. I wouldn't mind seeing that at all. 4-2 Astros. That's what I want to see at the end of this inning, or at the end of the top of the third, and the end of the inning. 4-2 Astros. Correa takes a timeout there. Yeah, Prodigy says that as luck would have it, the ball bounced perfectly back. Yeah, the Acuna played it well. He knew it was going to hit the wall. Ball 3. It's a full count. Pitch number 60 coming in for Wentz in just a moment. Lots of gaps out there, Mr. Correa. Where are you going to put it? Here's a pitch. Fouls it off on the first base side. Correa says, none of those gaps. I'm going to foul it off. Prodigy says it can't just be a home run like most other balls scorched that hard. Only the Astros. Here's the toss. He chops it up the middle. Is it going to be a double play ball? Yes, it is. Astros get nothing. An unassisted double play, a perfectly placed grounder right on top of second base. Kim grabs it, steps on the base, fires it to first, and the Astros come away with nothing. They leave the Lobsters on. I think that's 6 for the Astros now. And 7 for the Braves. The Braves aren't doing much better, but at least they have 2 runs on the board to show for it. Astros with 6 Lobsters, 1 run. Yeah, Acuna can throw the ball. Oh, man. I can definitely use some more coffee, I think. Just 1 cycle in his career. Bagwell. Prodigy says Astro doing Astro-like things when they have men on base and should score with 1 out. That's the way it is. That's what happens when your team is bipolar. The bats are bipolar. I was getting ready to pour my hot water in the filter without putting the coffee in there first. That would have been a nice surprise. Man, this coffee tastes like hot water. That's because it is, you nincompoop. There we are. There we are. Okay, the very first pitch. I missed it. And Olsen singles. Man, Olsen has Fromber's number today. How about that? Next batter's at the plate. Ronald Acuna Jr. One ball, no strikes. Here comes a 1-0 pitch with the runner on first, no outs. Here in the bottom of the third. Swing and a miss. 89, low and inside. Good toss. 1-1 is the count. Gregory had 1 coffee. Did that, was that your cycle for the day? Your 1 cycle? Fouled off the plate. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Acuna. Ronald McDonald Acuna. Whoops. Here comes a 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Low and outside on the changeup. A 4-pitch strikeout for Fromber. That's not bad. Hey, look at that. The Astros almost get a double play. Ozzy Albies grounds it to Correa. Apparently, Correa made a really good play on it, but they didn't show it because they had some graphics on the screen. He had to wait for some reason. Did he? Okay. So Correa made a really good catch. Didn't get it over to Doobie fast enough, so they didn't get the guy at first base, but that's 2 outs, runner on first. Whoops. Next pitch. Delivered to Ha-Sung Kim. That's right, 0-1. Below the zone, 1-1. That's right, Mr. Page. We need the next 6 games to look like yesterday or the day before. 89 right in there, fouled away. The count's 1-2. Prodigy, you're right. If nothing else, get the lead runner. 2 outs, runner on first. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Ha-Sung Kim. Here comes a pitch from Valdez. That's going to be a hit into right field, opposite field. The runner might go to third. Does he? No. Albies cannot go. Runners on first and second with 2 outs. Marcel Ozuna comes to the plate. My second and final cup of coffee. I won't be having any more coffee after this. It's 3:30 in the morning, so I don't like having too much coffee in the middle of the night. Fromberg comes off the mound and fakes a throw to second base. Here comes the first pitch to Ozuna. 79 in the top of the zone. Nice curveball. "2001 Bagwell cycle." 2001. My daughter was 1 year old. Oh, 0-2 is the count to Ozuna. Alejandro, I'd agree. Maybe it's best for him anyway. Maybe he needs to start over somewhere else. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Hit high in the air. Shallow right center. Cam Smith comes over, grabs it, and that's out number 3. Braves get more hits. Get more guys on base. But nothing comes of it. 4 hits for the Astros, 4 hits for the Braves. It's 1-2 in Atlanta. Astros down by 1. 1 error so far in the game. And sadly belongs to the Astros. Whew, now that is a hot cup of coffee right there. Wow, that's scorching. Daryl, you know, you're right, but I've realized that once you stop caring, then the concept of time doesn't really matter anymore. There's no such thing as time slipping by, or time flying, or not having enough time, or being pressed for time. None of those things actually really exist. It's just about perception. It's funny how difficult things in your life are actually not things to overcome. They are elements that exist to help push you or guide you, I guess you could say. That would be better. Not push you, but guide you in the right direction. Gregory says July 18th, Astros 17-11 over Cardinals. A rubber Walker at the plate has a little RBI single, the only RBI so far today for the Astros. I would not object to another big RBI from Mr. Walker right now. Here comes the pitch. What in the world are you doing there? That literally looked like a wedge, a sand wedge swing. A very light, just Walker gently puts it up onto the green. And that one rolls just a few inches from the hole. A nice setup for his oncoming putt. That one is grounded foul down the third baseline. The count is 1-2 to Mr. Walker. I wonder if there are any baseball live streamers that talk like that. Just really calm and quiet. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. 94 mile per hour fastball up and out. I'm sorry. I misspoke. The count remains 1-2 to Walker. Walker with the only RBI today for the Astros thus far, with a single. Here comes the next pitch. That one's low and inside. Good take by Walker. And that will even the count at 2-2. Actually, I kind of have to focus to do that. 86 miles per hour below the zone. Full count. Yeah, Walker's lulling him to sleep, and I'm trying to lull you guys and gals to sleep. Here's the 3-2 pitch. Walker hits that one to center field. Is that going to get over his head? Wow, Harris the second makes a running catch over the head at the warning track. That ball just kept floating and floating and floating. He barreled it up all the way out there. Kudos to you, Mr. Center Fielder. Harris the second. Was not a bad catch. One away. Jake the Rake at the plate. Come on, buddy. 92, low and inside. Strike one. Hey, Elvis, welcome back. Good to see you again. Back in Texas from your trip to Columbia, brothers. Hey, there we go. Myers hits one through the middle. That's going to be a hit. Thank you, sir. Jake rakes one through the middle. That's 5 hits for the Astros. We got a runner on first with 1 out. But you're right, Elvis. Hopefully Valdez can leave behind his lately performance, his recent performance. Diaz is at the plate. 1 strikeout today. Big hit coming up. Opposite field, baby. Here comes the toss. No, he goes over to first base with a nice, easy, slow toss. Myers steps back on first. Myers had time to put on a top hat, a jacket, and a cane and twirl it a couple of times and take a couple of steps back to first base. Myers is now stealing second, and he gets in there. Look at that. 16 steals this year for Myers, and check it out. Myers was already at his career high for the year on steals. That was a good steal. Way in there. Looking like a pro, baby. 1 ball, no strikes to Diaz. Here's the toss. It's in the dirt. Myers has got Wentz. Oh, shook up. Oh. Something like that. Pitch number 73 coming up for Mr. Joey Wentz. I wonder if that stolen base made him wince. Fouled off at the plate. 2 balls and 1 strike to Diaz. Shrewdly says, go to your home run. Are you too good for your home run? Are you too good for your home run? 2-1 count coming up. Here's the toss. 83 right in the zone, fouled back. Counts even 2-2. Prodigy says some George Carlin. Yeah. Oh crap, QB Burrow hurt for bingo. Burrow's hurt again? That's sad. I like Burrow. Mr. Showtime, Mr. Hollywood. Best college football team, best year of college football I've ever seen in my life was Burrow's senior year. That was such an amazing year. Full count. Here comes the toss. 76 on the curveball, fouled off again. The count remains full. Yeah, Walker did get robbed on that line drive hit to center field. Braves are definitely getting most of the breaks, but the Astros have an opportunity right now. And Diaz takes advantage. That's going to tie the game. Myers comes around third. There's no throw. Diaz is held at first base, but it doesn't matter. He drives in the run. Beautiful pitch. Beautiful hit. Inside slider, maybe? Yeah, that was an 85-mile-per-hour inside slider, and Yiner got around on it. Wrong pitch, wrong spot, Mr. Wentz. And Jake scores easily. He scored before that ball even got to second base. Cam Smith at the plate. Still got a runner on first with one out. This game is tied. Reset. It's a hard reset right now. 6 hits for the Astros. 1 ball, no strikes. To crank it up, Cam. Come on, Cam. Crank it up. 85 right in there. 1-1 is the count. Here comes a 1-1 pitch. Woo! At the top of the zone, check swing, but that's in there, my friend. That's called a strike. All day long. All day long, that's a strike. Here comes a 1-2 pitch to Cam. He golfs that one high in the air in the left field. It might be a little trouble. 3 players come in, but the left fielder Profar takes control. Diaz scampers back to first base. Diaz did his best there. Came off the bag, got ready to go, but the ball was caught, so he scampered back to first. Zach King Cole at the plate. Low and outside on the curve. Good take, ball 1. It just got really bright out there on the field. Must be warm over there in Georgia. Everybody using their fans to blow themselves or wave on themselves. Okay, that one was low and inside, completely below the zone. But whatever. 1-1. Here comes the toss. 93 in the top of the zone. Cole having a little hard time getting the bat on that one. 1-2 is the count. Make the bar winch wince. Here comes the pitch. Outside, 2-2. Nice take on the fastball. Shrewdly says Yiner just making his look bat. Or, I'm sorry. Yiner just looks like his bat's quicker right now. Well, that's what happens when you throw him a pitch under 90 on the inside. He can get around on it. 84 miles an hour below the zone. Another full count. This is pretty nice, guys. We're not even done with the 4th inning yet. And Wentz is knocking at the door of 90 pitches. I like it. I like a lot. Here's the pitch. Ball 4. He's going to have to throw some more. 1, 2, 3, 4. Wentz is going to have to throw some more.
Gregory, why are you sad, laddie? Why would you be sad about football? It's just a game. It's just a bloody game. Here's the toss. Woo, low and inside. That looked more ball than strike. Doobie at the plate with runners on first and second. Pena and Alvarez looking for another opportunity to come to the plate. 93 way above the zone. He fouls it off. 0-2. Are the Lions still as good as they were in recent years? Here is the 0-2 pitch to Doobie. 94 up and in, fouled off again. That's a good question, Brendan. Will the Texans make it to the Super Bowl before the Bears? That is a deep question. Here's the toss. In the dirt, bounces away. Runners are not able to advance on that one. "91 pitches for Wentz. Here comes number 92 against Doobie. The 1-2 toss. Low and outside. Another ball. Good take. One thing that the Astros are doing at the plate today, taking some pitches. Little adjustments. Here comes the 2-2. He grounds this one over to the third base side. Nacho makes the play at second base, and that'll be out number 3. Diaz ties it up. So the Astros get one more run, but they grab a couple more lobsters. It's tied 2-2. 6 hits for the Stros, 4 for the Not So Braves. 1 error on Doobie. No errors for the Braves. The Braves have managed to chalk up 11 lobsters. Astros currently have 7. Let's do a lobster count. It's nice to see the Astros winning the lobster count battle, especially when the score is tied. Lions and Packers are 2-0. Okay. Thanks for the update there, Sherry. Jays up 3-1 in the 5th. It's nice to see my full screen scoreboard working nice and well. By the way, I do have an image on the screen, and I'll take this moment to tell you guys about my sponsor. My sponsor, I have 3 sponsors: me, myself, and I. Actually, I would say that I only have 2 sponsors: myself and you guys and gals. So if you'll notice on the screen, if you'll take your attention for a moment to look just to the right of my image on the screen, you'll see a little image there of an anime girl saying thank you, and it mentions my recent donors. These are the people who made super chats and donations yesterday. Stan Sapp, Sarcastic Prodigy, Rusty Gamer, and Ken Starks. I haven't seen a few of you in the chat today. I know that Sarcastic Prodigy is here, so thank you very much, sir. I appreciate your support. I just wanted to give a shout out. Since I don't have an actual sponsor, I decided to do that instead. All right. Michael Harris II is at the plate. He grounds it to Doobie. He doesn't fumble that one. God bless your heart, Doobie. One away. Go Astros, go Stros indeed. Thank you so much. Here comes the next pitch to the next batter. Sandy Leon. It's a grounder to Pena, who throws it over the first base. And their beefy guy gets thrown out. Nice easy inning so far for Fromber. This is what I like to see. Back-to-back ground balls. Me likey. That sounds good. I'll have that. I could probably toss out a bunch of Dumb and Dumber quotes. They're showing the playoff picture right now. Astros have lost a couple of slots there, but they're still in the hunt. They're still in the hunt, laddie. The dogs are running, the foxes are on the run. They can't go very far. Here's the 0-1 pitch. This is hit up the middle. It hits the mound. Doobie snatches it up and fires it over. How about that? Nacho grounds out up the middle. Fromber has 3 ground balls. Boom, boom, boom. And how's that for a pitch count? 54 pitches. 38 in the strike zone. You know, perhaps my favorite painter will once again be Fromber. He paints some very special corners. I like them very much. Maybe he will win me over again. We will see. Will he give me another beautiful picture to hang on my wall today? We will see. Bad defense. So the Bears don't have good defense. Maybe they can borrow LSU's defense on Sundays. Eric says Fromber reminds me of a hockey player named Alexander Mogilny. One day he looked better than Gretzky. The next he looked like he needed help lacing up his skates. Well, you know what they say about the sun shining on a dog's you-know-what, right? Some days it shines on it. Some people can just light it up. It's like a one-hit wonder. I love this highlight reel of really bad plays. One of these was the third baseman trying to for the Mariners trying to throw it to the second baseman to get a force out, and he threw it so far to the right, it went out in right field, and it was like it was nowhere near. It was nowhere near second base. It was like halfway between first and second. I mean, it was so bad. You just have to wonder, how could anybody do that? You know, earlier we mentioned Hunter. Speaking of Hunter, Hunter Stratton is on the mound for the Braves, and he is facing Jeremy Pena. Here comes the first pitch. 93 in the top of the zone, fouled off. I need to update his name on the screen. Hunter Stratton. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. A little outside, 1-1. Yeah, Doobie recovered a little bit. He was able to find his glove again and his butt. Here comes a 1-1 pitch to Pena. Up and in, 97 miles an hour. Stratton brings a little bit of heat. Tells Pena to back away from the oven a little bit. Back away from the stove, boy. You get burnt. Here's a 2-1. Pena turns on that one. That's a 96 mile per hour pitch. He was expecting it, but he bounced it foul down the third base side. Two balls and two strikes to Pena. No outs. Top of the fifth. Here's the toss. Good take. Pena started to go after that slider, but he held up. Good job. Full count. Astros still working it, feeling it, just like Kevin Nealon. 87 miles an hour right in there. It would have been a strike either way, but Pena couldn't get the bat on it. One down, and your daddy's coming home to the plate. Here comes the first pitch to Jordan. 86 on the outside edge with the slider. Playing those edges. He's living on the edge. 0-1 to Jordan. Here comes the toss from Stratton. High and outside. 1-1. I'm not going to object to that at all. If Cole hits another homer, I'm not going to complain. Not even a little. I might even celebrate that. Here comes a 1-1 pitch. High and outside again. 2 balls and 1 strike. He hasn't thrown anything really hittable. Even the strike that he threw that Jordan took was on that outside edge. 2 balls and 1 strike. Here's the toss. That was not a bad one. 94 in the top of the zone. He fouls it off. 2-2. That's not you that I smell, Gregory? Is that just a paper processing facility? Here's the pitch. Oh, man. 87 mile per hour slider below the zone. Jordan swings and misses. So Jordan goes from looking awesome at that last at bat to looking like old school Pena. Here comes the pitch. Correa at the plate. 97 miles an hour, hits it off into the crowd on the first base side. What do we have in the way of viewers and likes? Are we looking good on the ratio? Let's pull it up and see. 104 people watching, 58 likes. Could use about 15 more likes if you haven't liked the live stream. Here's the toss. Fouled off, 97 on the outside edge. Correa is getting some contact, a little touchy-feely with the ball. Let's see if he can straighten it out. If you're an Astros fan, I would appreciate you subscribing to the channel. I do all of the live play-by-play, so if you're here now, you might be back. You know what I'm saying? One ball, 2 strikes to Correa. Later on with Ghost Shows After Hours, we're going to talk about the recent alien phenomenon, so stick around for that. 94 outside. 2-2. No, Sherry. Seattle and the Astros are tied right now. Seattle managed to tie them twice, 2 days in a row. We've got ourselves a full count with that pitch in the dirt. 2 outs, nobody on. Top of the 5th, full count. Pitch to South Korea on the way. Below the zone. Stratton drops it just a couple inches below the bottom of the zone. Correa says, nope. Ie kekko desu. That's Japanese for no thanks. Christian Walker back at the plate with a runner on first. Didn't mean to click that button so quick. That's outside and in the dirt. 1 ball, no strikes. This could be one of those innings where, you know, we've got the new pitcher in, even though we have 2 outs, we've got a runner on. Maybe it starts to get away from him, you know, because he got the 2 outs and then he lets the runner on. Could be. 84, low and inside, swing and a miss on the slider. 1-1 is the count to Walker. Thank you, Sherry, for the well wishes. I take it you're not a fan of the Submariners. Line drive robbed by the third baseman. Christian Walker ripped that one down the third baseline. He's like, what do you do? What do you do? Good catch by the third baseman, just right in his glove. All he had to do was kind of stretch out there and grab it real quick. That could have been a double. With Cray on first, he probably wouldn't have been able to make it any further than third, but it was close. It was close indeed. But that's the end of the inning. We go to the, or that's the end of the top of the inning, rather. It's just so much. It's so wordy to say that, right? That's the end of the top of the inning. It sounds like maybe it's the writer in me, because I've been working on a novel. I've actually written quite a few things. Movie scripts. Nothing popular, nothing famous, just my own stuff. And I'm working on this really big novel right now, but whenever I'm writing stuff, I pay attention to not being repetitive within the same paragraphs, not using the same expressions too often, and not using unnecessarily wordy things that sound awkward. That's one of those things that sounds awkward to me. That's the end of the top of the inning. That's the end of the top of the 5th. Maybe I can just say, top of the 5th, finito. I can say, owari. That's Japanese. It means finished. Owari. Top of the 5th, owari. Prodigy says, Walker's at least swinging the bat well and swinging at some good pitches. That, yeah. I'm not going to complain. If he's not striking out, I'm happy. He doesn't have one today. Didn't he go without one yesterday? Or he only got one. Something like that. I can't remember. Before the first pitch to Profar, Diaz runs out to the mound to have a little heart-to-heart with Valdez. That was funny. Yonner came out to say something to Valdez, and Valdez just kind of patted him on the arm, like, it's okay, no problem. In the dirt. Curveball. 1 ball, no strikes to Profar. Yeah, I'm not a fan of the Chiefs. I'm tired of hearing about the Chiefs. In the dirt again. This time with the changeup, 2-0. Bottom of the 5th inning, the Astros and the Braves are tied up 2-2. 6 hits for the Stros, 4 for the Braves. Here's the 2-0 pitch, and that's way outside on the sinker. 3 balls and no strikes now to Jurickson Profar. That's right, Prodigy. 93 low and inside, a 4-pitch walk. Second pitch issued today by Framber Valdez. Prodigy says Valdez said, "Don't worry, you're not Salazar. It's okay, buddy. It's okay, little buddy. You're my buddy. You're my buddy. I'm not going to throw at you." Wouldn't that be funny, though? Can you imagine if Diaz ran out there before the inning started and just said, "Hey, Fram, I just wanted to say, please don't throw at me. Don't cross me up, bro." Instead of, "Don't tase me. Don't cross me, bro. Don't cross me." 0-1 to Matt Olson. He's 2 for 2 today with a single and a homer. Low and outside on the slider. 1-1 is the count. Don't cross me, bro. Maybe I should make a shirt for myself that has a picture of Cesar Salazar, his disappointed look on his face. It says, "Don't cross me, bro." 85 miles an hour. Another slider low and outside. 2 balls and no strikes. Texas Grass, Mr. Texas Grass, halfway through the 5th or middle of the 5th. We're in the bottom of the 5th. If Fromber is pitching and we are playing in Atlanta, then you know that we're in the bottom of the 5th. But maybe you didn't know that. 2-2 is the count. Runner on first base with no outs. Double play ball. That would be what I would order up right now. In the dirt outside, full count. Marduk, good to see you here. Let's get the sweep on this series. Amen, brother. I will second that. Amen and amen. Here comes a full count toss to Olson. Check swing, and he didn't go. That was way outside and low. Another walk. That's 3 walks this game, but back-to-back for Valdez. He's kind of losing it now. Are you talking about on the screen? Yeah, if you're talking about what's on my screen, that feed comes directly from MLB, and it doesn't always update immediately. So if the game stats on the screen don't change quick enough, that's actually on MLB, believe it or not. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Oh, that was a foul ball, actually. I'm sorry, he didn't miss. He just didn't hit it enough. 1 ball, 1 strike. Acuna at the plate. Acuna Jr. It would probably be much easier, though, to pitch to Acuna Sr. I say put him in the game. Here's the 1-1 toss. Low and inside. Two balls and 1 strikes. 1 strikes. That's right. Here's the toss. 80-mile-per-hour curveball. Low and inside. He gets the swing and a miss there. 2-2. Just like the score of the game. 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2 runs for each team and 2 runners on. No outs. 2 outs right here would be good. Where's that triple play I keep looking for? All year I've been looking for the triple play. One of these days I'll see one. I'll see a live triple play from the Astros. 69 pitches for Valdez. The 3-2 count. Here comes the pitch to Acuna Jr. Wow, almost hit him. That's another walk. 3 straight walks by Fromber here in the 5th inning. Josh Miller going to finally come out and talk to Fromber. That's all it took was 3 walks for you to walk to the mound? I think you should have been out on that last walk, my friend. Fromber is up to 70 pitches. His strike count, his in the zone strike count has gone down. The ratio is pretty bad now. 70 pitches, 42 strikes. He was looking really good, and he just completely lost it. Daryl thinks we should throw the broom instead of the ball. Anything that works. Just keep throwing stuff and see what sticks to the wall. Ozzy Albies comes to the plate. Now's a good time for a triple play, I'll tell you that. No outs, bases juiced. Here's the pitch from Valdez. Below the zone on the curveball. Ball 1. Here comes a 1-0 toss. Albies hits that up the middle, and that's going to score at least 1. Going to be 2. 4-2 Braves. With a single, runners on the corners now with no outs. Albies with the 2 RBI single right up the middle. 5 hits now for the Braves. 95-mile-per-hour sinker. Low and away. It was low and away, but there really wasn't too much movement on that sinker. So it wasn't really difficult for him to get the bat on it. Astros down by 2. Runners on the corners, no outs. I don't know about you guys and gals, but I'm thinking that Fromber needs to come out. I haven't seen anybody warming up the bullpen yet. Ha-Sung Kim is at the plate, 94 miles an hour on the inside, strike 1. Here comes the 0-1. He rips that one foul. Man, he put the bat on that one. 78-mile-per-hour curveball. Even the ball boy couldn't handle it. It bounced out into the left field area. Oh, and 2. Here comes the pitch. Barely got the bat on it. Fouled it off down the first base side. Count remains 0 and 2. You ain't no Hunter Brown, Mr. Valdez. That's for sure. Now they've got De Los Santos warming up in the bullpen. There's another hit, 5-2. Every single walk that Fromber issued this inning has been driven in. We have runners on first and second, still no outs. Not a single out in this inning. Right up the middle, right over Fromber's head. 5-2. Yes, please take him out, and he does. Finally, Espada takes him out. At least 2 batters too late. De Los Santos comes in. We got a pitching change. 76 pitches for Valdez. Can't even get through 5 innings. Actually, he didn't even get an out. Fromber is just going to have 4 innings of work. He did a lot of work in the 5th inning, but he didn't even get a single out. De Los Santos comes in with runners on first and second. 6 hits for the Braves and 5 runs. Same for the Astros in hits, but they only have 2 runs on the board. We're down by 3. Yeah, you're right, Gabriella. They should have taken him out earlier. I think that whenever he issued the second walk, that's when Josh Miller should have come out. Not after bases were loaded. I mean, think about it. He only had 1 walk through the first 4 innings, and then he walked 2 guys in a row. At that time, with no outs, you should go out to the mound. If he walked the next batter after that, I just think you can't leave him in there. I don't know. If he walks 3 batters in a row, how can you leave him in? How does Espada leave in a pitcher that walks 3 batters in a row? Now, if it's the first inning, I could understand that, the first or second inning. But when he has already pitched 4 innings and he's only given up 1 walk that whole time, and then in the 5th, he walks 3 batters in a row and he doesn't pull him out. The word I'm looking for in Japanese is wakaranai. It just means I don't understand. Daniel De Los Santos is now on the mound for the Astros. He is facing Ozuna. 96 in the top of the zone for strike 1. Starts him off with a heater. Nice location on that one. Sold out Sky Dome. 49,000. That's almost half as much as the attendance at LSU's Death Valley yesterday, Tiger Stadium. I think it was over 102,000 that were in the stadium yesterday in Baton Rouge. 0-2. Runners on first and second with no outs. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. 96 miles an hour, fouled away. Count remains 0-2. Well, we shouldn't have had any reason to save pitchers today, Sherry. If you're talking about leaving Frombrin to save pitchers, I mean, number 1, we have to win the game. That's the priority, win the game. But number 2, we have a lot of rested pitchers right now. We're okay. Because they've scored so many runs the past couple of days. The pitchers have gotten a decent rest. Another foul ball. Ozuna stays alive. 0-2 is the count. Here comes the pitch. Grounded foul again. Here comes 0-2. Swing and a miss. A foul tip into the glove of Diaz. In your face. Yes, that's right. In your face. We have an out. Houston, we have an out. 1 down. Runners on first and second. Michael Harris the second at the plate. Facing De Los Santos. Here's the toss. Ball 1. Little high. Who are the Jays playing, by the way, Sherry? Low and inside. Ball 2. Here comes the next toss. The 2-0. Swing and a miss. Nice. Slider in the bottom of the zone. Strike 1. Here's the 2-1 delivery. Little tapper. Could be a little trouble. He throws the first. They say he's safe. A little tapper to the left side. De Los Santos got over there, picked it up with his hand, not his glove. Take notes, Fromber. He fires it over to first base, but Harris beats it out. He almost could have gone to third. See how close that was. Yeah. He got there pretty easily. Booked it down the line. Bases loaded with 1 out. Bases loaded. Sandy Leon at the plate. A little outside on the slider. Just a couple inches. Ball 1. You're right, Paul. He has... You know, Paul, it's bad enough that Fromber has been struggling with his performance. But the fact that he also had a few irritating moments on the mound, primarily the absolutely terrible behavior of crossing up Cesar Salazar and not apologizing for it. He has done nothing but drive his value down. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. Check swinging, 97 up and in. 1 ball and 2 strikes. They're playing Baltimore. Okay, I gotcha. Yeah, and Baltimore has been playing kind of the spoiler. You know, they're not a playoff team right now, but they've been playing spoiler against a lot of tough teams, you know? My feelings exactly, Gabriella. That could have been a strike, just clipped the bottom of the zone, but the count is 2-2. Leon gets a little lucky there. In your face! Right down the middle, 88-mile-per-hour changeup, swing and a miss. Take a look at this. Boom, baby. Out number 2. In your face, part 2. Nacho Alvarez at the plate. 97 on the outside edge, strike 1. Let's go for the trilogy. In your face trilogy. With a nice third out right here. We need Santos, De Los Santos, to give us the in your face trilogy. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. 97, a little outside, 1-1. Yeah, Paul, you're right. I think maybe the Phillies also would accept Fromber, but he'd look kind of strange in the Phillies outfit. You never know, though. Here's the 1-1 toss. Swing and a miss. 88 below the zone. Beautiful slider. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Come on. In your face, part 3. That was a little high. The count's even, 2-2. Beautiful day at the park today, it looks like. Here comes the pitch. Low and outside, full count. Whew! Dangerous situation now. Come on. I'm looking for the trilogy. The fans are waiting for the trilogy. Part 3 to in your face. Here comes the 3-2 pitch to Nacho. In. No earned runs. 1 run scored on an infield tapper. But he shuts it down. How about that? What a clutch performance by Enio de los Santos. That's the best we could have hoped for in that situation, I think. 3 strikeouts and 1 infield hit. What a thing of beauty. He gives up nothing. The Cardiac Kids. 45th comeback win. It's nice to have a lot of comebacks. But man, it is definitely hard on the health, isn't it? Yeah, thank you for your service, De Los Santos. Thank you for your service. Next Veterans Day, I am going to be giving thanks to Enio de los Santos. Just because he had a good inning versus the Braves in Game 3 in 2025. Well, my coffee is officially empty. I got just a little bit of milk. A little bit of milk left. You guys ever seen a carton of Japanese milk? Would you believe me if I told you I can actually read most of that? Pretty crazy. Of course, there is some English on here. If you're going to buy main things like this in the store, you can usually see some English on the container. But I can actually read the kanji for milk, the Japanese writing for milk, so I don't need that anymore, thankfully. Low and outside. Jake the Rake at the plate. I remember the first time I went to the convenience store to pick up some milk, and I picked up something that turned out to be yogurt drink. Oh, man, that was almost through the hole. Myers grounded it to the left side, but he snatched it up. Alvarez Jr., Mr. Nacho, and throws it over to first base for out number 1. And that's it for my milk. I don't know if you saw the logo on there, but that's 7-Eleven. This one came from 7-Eleven. Here's a toss. 83 in the bottom of the zone. Strike 1. Diaz. Yonder 1 for 2 today. Yiner looking for his 20th home run of the year. He's been stuck at 19 for a little while. Let's see if he can get to 20 today. Here's the pitch. Outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. 1 out. Nobody on. Top of the 6th. Astros trail by 3. That's kind of funny. Got a New York Mets and Astros fans together in Atlanta watching the game. Diaz punches that one on the infield. 1 hopper. Kim throws it over to first base, and that's 2 up and 2 down. Definitely need a comeback. Yeah, Springer has been doing pretty well. Swing and a miss way outside. Cam Smith now at the plate for the Astros. Went after that cutter with a big cut of his own, but he didn't touch anything. 0-1 is the count. In the dirt, 1-1. Here comes a 1-1 from Mr. Stratton. In the dirt again. 2 balls and 1 strike. I just ordered myself a lot of bottled water. Just came in 2 days ago. Also ordered a lot of iodine drops. Here's the pitch, way outside. 3-1 to Cam. I also have lemon juice, organic lemon juice. And I have pink salts. Three balls, 1 strike. Uh-oh, that could be gone. Oh, it's gone. It's a no-doubter. Cam Smith, finally, with another home run. Good grief, it's been too long. Drills one out to left field. That draws us a little bit closer, 5-3. We're now just 2 runs away. The comeback slowly getting started here with that. 446 feet. That's crazy. 446 feet. Speaking of home runs, Zach Cole comes to the plate. Fouls it off down the first baseline. Look at that. 95-mile-per-hour fastball, and as soon as it was hit, Stratton turned around and hit his glove. He knew it was gone. Here comes the 0-1 pitch to Cole. Low and in the dirt, inside. Man, that sound off the bat was a big crack. It was like 15 rows back. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. 93 right in there. Bottom of the zone, strike 2. 1-2's the count. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. Below the zone. Good take. 2-2 is the count. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. 93 on the inside, fouled off. The Astros commentators noted something very interesting, that they are playing Cole in the outfield way over into the right side. They're leaving a huge gap opposite field. They said they're playing him just like Alvarez. Here's the pitch. He hits this one to second base. Did that actually get there in time? Cole thinks he was safe at first base. The Astros are going to challenge that. That was a slow hit right up the middle. The second baseman grabbed it, made a very weak throw to first base. Yeah, he's safe. He's safe. The Astros are going to review it. They're reviewing it right now, and it's going to be overturned. He's going to be safe. Yeah, the Braves are not coming off the field. They're going to look at the replay, but everybody knows that he's safe. Yeah, Albies just shook his head. He's like, nah, he's not out. Yeah. Definitely safe. 100%. It was close, but he's definitely safe. It's clear. It's clear, guys and gals. It's clear. Whoops. Got to get used to this mic. Maybe I should put some lights on my mic just to up my game. I can take this opportunity to remind you guys and gals to like the live stream if you've not done it yet. Do it, do it, do it. How many people do we have following along right now? 67? 86. It's overturned. He's safe. How did I know that? Am I a wizard? I guess so. 86 watching, 67 likes. We might not get over 100 views today unless it gets to the ninth inning and it's a close game or it's going into extra innings. Then we would definitely start attracting some more viewers. Doobie is at the plate with a runner on first. Cole on first base, 2 outs. That's hit straight to the second baseman. This time he has an easy play to first base. So all of that just for Doobie to ground out on the very first pitch. Doobie didn't. Doobie didn't do it. Doobie didn't do it. Doobie didn't do it. Do it. Do it. Didn't do it. Another stranded runner for the Astros, but crank it up Cam got the engine started in the 6th and put one over 400 feet out into left field, over 440 feet out into left field. Astros have been nickel and diming the Braves. 1 run in the 1st, 1 in the 4th, 1 in the 6th. The Braves were doing the same thing, 1 in the 1st, 1 in the 2nd, until they lit Fromber up in the 5th and knocked him out of the game by scoring 3 runs. Astros down 5-3, but they've got 8 hits to the Braves 7. I'll be right back. I'm going to go in here and make myself a little bit lighter, and I'll be right back. Go Astros and all that. Who are these people that they're talking with? They've been at every game. Somehow I keep missing it. Astros Peaches. Whoops. The little girl's favorite player is Yordan Alvarez. I'm surprised she didn't say Altuve. Steven Okert is on the mound for the Astros. He's facing Jurickson Profar. First pitch is outside for a ball. 1-0. Next pitch is a little high and outside, ball 2. Ooh, 91 on the inside edge. Called ball 3. Man, that was a good pitch. That should have been a strike. That should have been a strike. 3 balls and no strikes. Serve him up some Okert. Some fried Okert. That's in there. 90 miles an hour on the fastball. 3 balls and 1 strike. Come on, Okert. Don't start this off with a walk. Give him a swing and a miss. Make him eat it. He's not going to be able to eat that. That's way outside. Ball 4, a 5-pitch walk for Stephen Okert on his first batter in the bottom of the 6th. What in the world is the deal with all the walks for the Astros this game? Matt Olson comes to the plate. Runner on first, no outs. 82 above the zone, another ball from Okert. 5 balls and 1 strike now thrown by Stephen Okert. Here's a toss. Okay. That ball was in the exact same spot as one that was called a ball earlier, but now it's a strike. I guess we get it back, kind of. 1 ball, 1 strike. Here comes the toss. This is hit high in the air. Myers is underneath it. No problem. He lobs it in to Pena. Olson goes down with the fly ball. Profar stays on first base. This stadium is empty. Not many people at all in the stands today. Acuna Jr. at the plate. A little high and outside. The Astros are going to win this game, by the way. In case you didn't know. 1 ball, no strikes. Here comes the next pitch. 80 low and inside, fouled away. 1 ball, 1 strike. Yeah, 9-2 is a pretty good lead. 7 runs is not bad. Fouled away. Nice fastball up and away. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Acuna. Profar on first base. 1 down. Here comes a 1-2 pitch. Nope, he goes to first instead. Profar easily back. Not a very serious throw, just resetting the shot clock. Why do I always say that? One of these days I'll get used to saying pitch clock. That reminds me of something I want to ask you guys and gals about. 82 at the bottom of the zone, fouled off. Count remains 1-2. The other day they were speculating about the pitch clock actually causing more injuries, because it's not just the Astros who have more pitching injuries. It's every team. They have a lot more pitching injuries than usual, and they're speculating now about it being the pitch clock. Have you heard that? 92 up and in. 2 balls and 2 strikes. That's right. That's right, Eric. It is the Braves, and that's why the Astros will win. They'll pull it out. We still got the brooms, baby. Fouls it off below the zone. Fouls it off on his leg. On the 80-mile-per-hour slider. I'm not sure if that was a slider. Why would he throw just an 80-mile-an-hour slider? Here comes the toss. Swing and a miss. He serves him up a little plate of fried Okert. Fried Okert. There we go, baby. Fried Okert. Serve it up. Even if they don't want it, you serve it up, you make them eat it. 2 outs. Runner on first. Ozzie Albies at the plate. Little high. Ball 1. It can't be that sherry, because we've had baseball has had a long history of guys who throw hard, and they went a lot longer in the past. There were a lot more complete games in the past. Teams had fewer pitchers in the past. Pitchers threw more innings in the past. So it can't be just blamed on pitchers throwing too hard too often. Some pitchers, that can be the case, but to say that that's the main reason, it doesn't make any sense. If you start to look at the data, I've looked at there's a video I can recommend. This is hit hard to left center field, and Myers tries for it and he can't get it. Profar is all the way around third, and he's going to score easily. Myers laid out. That ball just got out there too quick. Albies with the double. Braves get their run right back. 90-mile-per-hour fastball right on the outside edge. Myers laid out, tried to get it. Profire scores. Albies on second base, 2 outs. That brings up Ha-Sung Kim. Right on the outside edge, strike 1. Look how close that was. Myers missed it by just inches. They said it was like a 10% catch probability. He almost got it. That's golf to left field. Cole's underneath it, puts it away for out number 3. That's the one they needed on that last at bat. But it's 6-3 Braves. Cam Smith hit the home run, and the Braves turn around and get it right back with that hit, that double. Down by 3 again. The Astros have 3 innings to get 4 runs. And they can definitely do it. They will do it. Absolutely. Yeah, Eric says Nolan Ryan was a power pitcher for over 20 years and didn't have arm trouble until his mid-40s. That's right. That's right. And Nolan Ryan is just one example. And you're talking about guys who could not only throw hard, but throw a lot of pitches and play complete games, you know? And here's the thing that I was going to tell you. I highly recommend, not just for you, Sherry, but for all of you, if you have time, go over to the Locked On MLB channel. A couple of weeks ago, I think maybe 2 to 3 weeks ago or something like that, they talked about, I say there was a guy on there, he talked about something that he noticed about pitchers nowadays and the stats about today's pitchers versus the pitchers from many years ago. And the average amount of pitchers that each ball club uses today is over 30 throughout the year. And way back in the day, the average that they used was 18. And no team, and there was one particular year that he was talking about, not a single team used more than 20. I think they didn't even get to 20. I think 18 and 19 was the maximum that was used throughout the year. And also they had fewer injuries. They pitched longer innings. They pitched longer outings. They pitched more pitches. They had more complete games. Now, nowadays, we've almost doubled the amount of pitchers that we use, and some teams have doubled the amount of pitchers that they used to use. Now, you tell me what's the problem. Jeremy Pena is at the plate. He's facing a new pitcher. That is a strike in the bottom of the zone. Dylan Lee is on the mound for the Braves. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. He goes after that one outside. The changeup. Strike 2. Misses it completely.
Dylan Lee.
Oh and 2 is the count to the Flash. Here comes the pitch. Pena hits that one to third. Nacho makes the throw to first base, and that's a 1 down. Here in the 7th, Yordan Alvarez comes up. This is our progression. That's in there for a strike. 0-1 to Alvarez. 6-3. Or 3-0, however you want to look at it. 95 miles an hour above the zone. One and one with 1 out. Here's the toss. He takes that one above the zone. 95 mile per hour fastball. 2 balls and 1 strike. I agree with you, Sherman. There's one thing I can add on to this that I haven't said yet, but I'll get to it. 96 fouled back off the mask of the catcher. 2 balls and 2 strikes. That was a 96 mile per hour fastball. One of the things that I can add on to that is how they play baseball here in Japan. The way they play baseball here, in most ways, is more traditional than the way it is in the MLB, and I prefer the way they play here, actually. 89 low and away. He fouls it off. Count stays 2-2. The pitchers here in Japan, they tend to throw more complete games. They throw more innings than pitchers in the MLB. But here's another thing. The pitchers also bat. They don't use the designated hitter. So the pitchers that pitch, they also bat. 87 up and in. And you might think, oh, you know, the pitchers, that's an easy out. Nope. The pitchers take their batting very seriously also. Why do you think people like Shohei Ohtani can hit? Because he never learned just to pitch. He learned to be a baseball player. You know what I'm saying? Here's the 2-2. Fouled off the glove. Luckily, it's not held onto by the catcher. So we get another pitch. It's 2-2 again. Babe Ruth was a pitcher, for those of you who don't know that. Some of you might think, well, duh, of course he was, because you know that, but you'd be surprised at how many people don't know that. Here's the pitch. Speaking of pitching. 88, low and inside, full count to Yordan. I think you're talking about Abbott, Sherry, the pitcher with 1 arm that played for the Angels. Mike Abbott, was that his name? I know his last name was Abbott. Let me see. Yordan hits this one deep to right field, and it's going to be caught at the warning track. He comes up short. Hey, Mark, what's going on? Well, you know, Mark, to give you a very short, simple update, through the first 4 innings, Fromber was okay. I mean, he gave up a solo homer and then another run after that. Carlos Correa is at the plate with 2 outs, nobody on. That first pitch is in there, fastball, strike 1. So he gave up a run in the first and a run in the second, and he actually looked really good in the third and the fourth, especially in the fourth. He has 3 straight grounders to get out of the inning. That's high. Ball 1, 1-1 to Correa. But in the 5th, he walked 3 straight batters, and they all scored. De Los Santos came in and shut it down. No outs, and De Los Santos came in and got 3 strikeouts to get him out of the inning. So the damage could have been a lot worse than that. So he just kind of started to lose his control in the fifth, which was crazy because he had such great control in the fourth. 87 up and into Correa, and that's a 2-2 count. Fouled at the plate. Sound like I said bowled. I think my lips stuck together. Maybe I need to grab my lip balm. Jim Abbott. That was his name, not Mike Abbott. Jim Abbott. I knew I had his last name right. This guy. That's who we're talking about. Jim Abbott. I had his first name wrong. Two and two. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I mean, I'm maybe. Well, I don't know, but well, no, you're right. I'm sorry. That's what I call the progression, right? That was my ex-wife. I used to describe her as a progression. We could be in a conversation and she would say something that completely contradicted what she said earlier in the conversation. And I would tell her, that's not what you said a few moments ago. And she'd say, what do you mean? Well, just now you said this, but earlier you said that. And the very first response was, I didn't say that. And she would completely deny it. So it was 100%, I did not say that. That's not what I said. Wait a second, so you said something. Well, yes, I said something, but I didn't say that. So at first, I didn't say anything about that. And then it was, I said something, but it wasn't that. You misunderstood, or you heard incorrectly. And then it was, well, that's not what I meant. Oh, so you did say it. And then finally it would go all the way back around. It was like a circle, right? It would finally get, the progression would go from, I never said that, to, you thought that I said that, to, I said something, but it wasn't anything like that, to, I said something similar to that, but you misunderstood, and then to, well, that's not what I meant. And then finally, all the way around to, okay, yes, I said that. So what? What do you want me to do about it? So I would have to literally just go around this progression in order to finally get her to admit that she had actually said it and that she contradicted herself. And it wasn't to be right or wrong. It was just to say, hey, listen, you can't just say stuff off the top of your head, just say the truth all the time. That's, the truth is a wonderful thing, isn't it? The truth is a really wonderful thing, because if you just say the truth all the time, you never have to think, what did I say before? You don't have to cover up anything. If you tell the truth all the time, you never have to worry about what you said before or earlier in the conversation or last week or last year. Just say the truth all the time. Don't cover crap up. Don't lie, people. I don't understand why people lie. $72 viewers and 75 likes. Yeah, well, Mark, we had more viewers earlier, but it's kind of struggling right now. If the Astros tie the game up by the 9th inning, I expect to get over 100 viewers. But as it stands right now, if the score doesn't change, I don't think that's going to happen. If we get to the 9th and it's tied up, then we'll definitely get over 100. If we go into extra innings, those numbers will start going up, up, up. But we'll see. 79 watching right now, 74 likes. It looks good. But that's just people coming in, checking out for a little while, maybe dropping a like or two, and then saying, you know what, this sucks, I'm out of here. Uh, tis the way 'tis. Tis the way 'tis, tisn't it? Tisn't it? Astros relievers looking good though. Look at that. King, Murray, and Blue Ball all 0.00. 4 innings pitched, 5.2, 5.1, and 7. Blue Ball with 7 innings pitched, no earned runs. De Los Santos is the worst of the group and is 1.73 on his ERA. Craig Kimbrell is on the mound. We got a lot of rested guys in the bullpen, too. Come on, Kimbrell. He is facing Marcell Ozuna. Two balls and no strikes. We're in the bottom of the 7th, y'all. Here comes the toss. 94, fouled back, 2-1. David says for some reason the Strangers only decide to play good after the 7th. That could bite them in the butt. Hopefully it will more than once. Well, that's going to be a single base runner on the very first batter. Kimbrell gives up a single to left field. Nice easy hit for Ozuna. Michael Harris, the second, comes to the plate. This lineup is pretty interesting because the Braves' top 2 batting averages in the lineup are 273 and 272. Profar is 258. Everybody else is below 240. Michael Harris II is at the plate. 1 for 3 today. Runner on first, no outs. Here comes the pitch from Kimbrell. And he's stealing. And he's in there. Ozuna steals on the very first pitch. No, that's a pinch runner. Too good of a jump. Diaz couldn't get him. Here's a pitch. 93 fouled off. Runner on second base. 1 ball, 1 strike, no outs. Thanks, Sherry. You have a good one. Thanks for being here. Thanks for watching and checking out the game. Here comes a 1-1 pitch. High and outside, 2-1. Here comes a 2-1 pitch from Kimbrell. 85-mile-per-hour Swiffer fouled away. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Looks like the Braves have some bullpen action going on. Here comes the next toss. 94, just above the zone, fouled off again. 2-2, the count remains. Let's go, Stros. Come on. Let's goes, Stros. 2-2 pitch incoming. 88 on the outside. He just kind of throws the bat out there. Fouls it off into the crowd. Probably could have just let it go, bro. But the count stays 2-2. Fine by me. Here comes a 2-2 pitch. Up and in. He takes that one for ball 3, and it is a full count. Here comes the full count pitch. 84 right in there, and that's going to be, wow, caught by Dubon, but Dubon and Pena almost ran into each other on that play. Some poor communication going on there. Pena definitely was on it. One away. Sandy Leon at the plate. Greg Kimbrell steps off the rubber. One disengagement. That's a thick dude. Man, he's taking up half the screen. Swing and a miss. 84, low and inside. Here comes pitch. With almost no curve. Wow, he destroyed it. 8-3. This game is officially over. Oh my gosh. A guy who hasn't hit a home run in 4 years. That's worse than Maldonado. That first pitch is fouled off by Nacho. 1 out, nobody on. 10 hits now for the Braves. 8 runs on the board. 8-3. Fouled off again, the 85-mile-per-hour Swiffer. Oh no indeed, Mr. Page. Oh no indeed. No balls, 2 strikes. The 5th, the 6th, and the 7th, the Astros just broke down. 3 runs in the 5th, 1 run in the 6th, 2 runs here in the 7th. Strike 3. 2 away. Jurickson Profar comes to the plate with nobody on, 2 outs. .94 miles an hour right in there, strike 1. Marduk, what you said right there reminds me of something. Marduk says that Nolan Ryan threw those huge Houston newspapers with his dad. That's hit up the middle, another hit. 3rd straight on-base appearance for Profar. A walk, a couple of hits. The inning continues. 2 outs, runner on first, and Matt Olson comes to the plate. Yeah, Marduk says his dad did the same and would see Nolan Ryan at the distribution building. They rolled and stuffed hundreds of papers every day, forearms of steel. I got something to say about that that's very interesting. Here's the toss. 93 miles an hour on the top of the zone, strike 1 to Matt Olson. A friend of mine was really big into working out, and he was not very tall. He bought a Solo Flex one time while he was still in high school. And in just one summer, he got a lot bigger. Everybody's like, whoa, you became a muscle man in just a few months. And after high school, we were still good friends. And we started going to the gym together. But I started working at a cabinet shop. 93 miles an hour fouled away. That's strike 2 against Olson. I didn't have time to go to the gym so much. And I was working so hard at the cabinet shop. The last thing I felt like doing was going to the gym and lifting weights. But one of the things that I loved to do was curl. Do arm curls. I loved arm curls. Runner is stealing. Here's the throw. And throw is late. Profar gets a stolen base. As Diaz second base throws go, so did the Astros go, it seems like. If Diaz is throwing people out, the Astros are winning. But not today. No throwouts. Astros are down by 5. Runner on second, 1-2 pitch on the way in the dirt, 2-2. But those 4 feet wide by 8 feet tall sheets of plywood and particle board, if you've ever picked those up, especially the particle board, those things are heavy. And when you're making a lot of cabinets, Kimbrel comes off the mound. Whenever you're preparing to build a ton of cabinets for a house, a brand new house, you have to rip out a lot of material in one day. You just spend the whole day ripping out material. 87 outside, full count. So literally from the time you come in the morning to the time you leave in the evening, you're just picking up materials one after the other and cutting them out and stacking them over and over and over all day long. Here's the pitch. This is hit up the middle. Myers is underneath it. Should be an easy out. And it is for out number 3. But 2 more on the board. Thanks to a 2-run shot by a guy who has been homerless since 2021. Thank you, Mr. Kimbrel. I was believing in you, bro. I was believing in you. But you let me down. Astros are down by 5 runs. Got 2 more innings to do something about it. Christian Walker is going to be the first one to make an attempt at that here in the top of the 8th coming up in just a few moments. But anyway, what I was going to say is I'm a tall guy. I'm 6'2". My friend was, he was only like 5'8", maybe. He was under 5'9". But he looked really strong. You know, his whole body was, he just looked like muscle. And he was drinking all the protein stuff and all of that. And he was hitting the gym big time. And, you know, he knew that I was really big into doing the arm curls. And I used to do those all the time. And I got to where I could curl a pretty good bit of weight. And he couldn't match me. Even though I'm very lean, right? I didn't have any fat on my body. I was just very lean. And no matter how much I would lift weights, no matter how much stronger I would get, it was so difficult for my muscles to get bigger. And after working at the cabinet shop consistently for like 3 or 4 months, one day he said, "Hey, I want you to come over to the gym after work. Can you do that?" And I was like, "I don't feel like working out really." And he said, "No, I want to show you something, and I want to try something out with you." And I said, "Okay." So after that, after I finished work, I went over to the gym and took a shower, and I met him out there. He said, "I have been busting my butt working on the barbells and the dumbbells, just getting stronger and stronger on my bicep curls, and I can beat you now." And I said, "Oh, really?" And he said, "Yeah." He said, "I know you haven't been to the gym in a while, and it really bothered me that even though your arms aren't big, I still couldn't beat you." And he said, "Now I think I can beat you." And I said, "Okay." And he said, "Watch this." And he grabbed one of the barbells and he curled it 3 times. 94 in the bottom of the zone, strike 1. Pierce Johnson is on the mound now for the Braves. Christian Walker at the plate. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss, 85. Curveball below the zone. 1 more strike and Walker is out. It's 0-2 right now. Oh and 2. Come on, Walker. We need you, bro. Big hits. Nothing but big hits this inning for the Astros. Come on. Here's 0-2 pitch. And that's a strikeout. That's the first strikeout of the day for Walker. It comes at a really bad time. Jake Myers coming up in just a moment with 1 out, nobody on here in the top of the 8th. But to make a long story short, you know how they've got those pre-made barbells on the rack of different weights? He took the second heaviest one and he curled it 3 times. That was his max. 91 outside and high to Myers, ball 1. Well, I looked at the weight on the side of the barbell and I thought, well, these aren't too heavy. I'm going to get the heaviest one. So I took the one off the top. Here's the pitch. 84 miles an hour in the bottom of the zone, strike one. The count's even. 1-1 with one out, nobody on. My friend scoffed at me for taking the heaviest one, but I proceeded to curl it 9 times. Here's the 1-1. Ooh, low and outside on the curveball. Nice pitch. Perfectly placed pitch up on the lower outside corner. The count is 1-2 to Myers. He calls a timeout and he steps out of the box for a moment. But my friend was so... You should have seen how he was crushed after that, and he couldn't understand it. He said, you haven't been coming to the gym. I've been coming here every day. 86 low and outside. And I said, I know what the deal is. And I explained to him what I do at the cabinet shop every single day, all day long. I told you that story because it reminds me of what you were saying about Nolan Ryan throwing the newspapers. Jake Myers rips it to left field on the 2-2 count. How about that? Myers having a good Braves series. He has multiple hits in each game. 85-mile-per-hour curve. Nice line drive shot to left field. We have a guy on first base with one out. Just need 5 runs. Marduk is right. We need some runs. 5 of them to tie. Yiner fouls the first one off. 85 right in the zone on the curveball. 0-1 is the count. But it's funny how if just doing your job, you know, and being repetitious and doing those same things every single day can make you so strong. You don't even realize it. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. Oof. 94 above the zone. Diaz swings and misses. What are you thinking about, bro? 0-2. Opposite field, Yiner. Opposite field. You can do it. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. He hits it out into center. It's hit pretty hard. Is it going to make it to the wall? He crashes into the wall but makes the catch. Another over-the-head catch by Harris. He robs Diaz. That's 2 hits to center field robbed. Look at this. Surprised he didn't get injured. Very lucky he didn't get injured. That would have been a double and a run scored. Jesus Sanchez has been brought in the game, another lefty for Pierce Johnson to face. 2 down, runner on first. Here comes the toss. Long delay by Johnson. Finally throws it outside on the curveball. 1-0 to Sanchez. Marduk says my dad Nolan were competing distance runners in far south region, LaPorte. They knew each other from track meets for distance runners. His first passion was running. Pretty interesting. That's fouled off down the first base side. 1-1, Sanchez. I did track and field. My coach had me do long distance running and triple jump. I didn't actually like long distance running. But I also played basketball and baseball. My parents didn't let me play football. But I wanted to be a receiver. Outside, 2 balls, 1 strike. Who's winning right now in the Cowboys game, Mark? Hopefully not the Cowboys. Womp. Anybody who's a Cowboys fan, my apologies. I just don't like the Cowboys. It's because of my brother. Blame him. Here comes a 2-1 pitch. That's hit to center field, and that's going to be playable by the center fielder. Yeah, he comes in and he gets it. 4 up and 3 down. 1 hit for the Stros, but nothing comes of it. 9 hits in total. 11 hits for the Braves. 8-3. The Astros are down by 5. That's it for the top of the 8th. Bottom of the 8th coming up. Ronald Acuna Jr. scheduled to bat, followed by Ozzie Albies and Ha-Seong Kim. Oh, Giants. New York Giants and Dallas Cowboys. A classic matchup. A classic. It is a classic matchup. It is so disappointing. I mean, it's disappointing enough. It's already disappointing enough to see the Astros lose, especially right now when they really need to win. The season is basically on the line right now. But to get up at like 1:30 at night and watch them lose to a terrible team instead of sweeping the series. When was the last time we saw a really good comeback? I don't mean the Astros being down by like 2 runs. I mean the Astros are down by 4 or 5 runs. Hey! JP France! JP France is in the game. JP France is in the game for the Astros. Let's see how France does. First pitch is lined to Doobie for out 1. Acuna lines out, 1 down. I'm really happy to see JP France on the mound. He's kind of got the beard going on. Last time I saw him, he just had the mustache. Come on, France. I wish you nothing but the best, bro. Here comes the first pitch to Ha-Seong Kim. That's a strike. 93 miles an hour right in there. First pitch was a line out. Second pitch is a strike. Here comes the next toss. Ooh, swing and a miss. Nice curveball in the dirt. He was fooled on that one. 0-2. Dallas and New York going to overtime, huh? 64-yard field goal. High and outside on the curveball. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Here comes a 1-2 pitch. 86 miles an hour on the outside edge. Fouled off down the first base side towards the Braves dugout. The count remains 1-2. I'm really excited to see France in here. I knew that there was going to be a possibility of him coming back. Would love to see him do really well. In the dirt. That curveball was too curvy. 2-2. It looks like France has a lot more tattoos than he used to. His arms look bigger too. Did he put on some muscle? Maybe. Here comes the 2-2 pitch to Kim. I'm sorry, this is Ozzie Albies. Why did I say Kim? Where am I looking? Maybe I'm just too sleepy. It's probably what it is. Ozzie Albies is at the plate, not Kim. Kim's on deck. Full count. Here comes the toss. That's high and outside. Hit out into right field. Sanchez comes in and grabs it. Puts it away for out number 2. Line out and fly out. 2 up and 2 down for France. Yeah, Jesse, you never know. You never know. The Astros may still be tied if the Angels can pull out a victory. I wouldn't doubt it at all. Actually, I'm expecting the Angels to win today, not because I want them to, but because I feel like that's kind of the way it's been going recently. Every time the Astros have a chance to pull away, they don't. And whenever the Mariners have a chance to take the lead, they don't. Wow, that was called a strike. 93 fastball, just a little outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Here comes the 1-1. 84 miles an hour. Right in there on the cutter. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 2 outs, nobody on. Come on, JP, you can do it. Here comes the toss. Nice curve at the bottom of the zone. Fouls it off. Pretty good placement there. They are showing the projected starters for the Astros. Jason Alexander and Christian Javier against the Rangers. Leiter, Kelly, and then DeGrom for the Rangers. Strangers. Here's the 1-2. Little high above the zone on the fastball. 2 balls and 2 strikes. What about statistics? Here's the pitch. Two balls and 2 strikes. Becomes 3 balls and 2 strikes. It's another full count. Hunter Brown watching, he's like, why can't these guys pitch like me? 91 on the outside, fouled back. Count remains full. Rangers tied up with the Mets 2-2 right now. Here comes a pitch from France. Full count. Ah, in the dirt. And that's a walk. So he gets the first 2 batters, and then he walks a guy. Yeah, Mariners with 3 hits in the second. 2 runs. How did they score? Homers? A hit and a homer? Probably. Yeah. Rosarino's on base. Raleigh homered. Figures. First pitch to Ha-Sung Kim is a swing and a miss for strike 1. Probably the winning streak that they're on right now, Jesse. That's my guess. Here's the toss. Oh, that's hit pretty hard to left field. Cole is back the wall. Whoo! All right. No harm, no foul. As Zach King Cole puts it away. France gives up 1 walk and gets 3 outs. So good job. Welcome back, JP France. Glad to see that 8th inning. A little scary there on that last hit, but it's all good. 8-3 going into the top of the 9th. The Astros have 1 more inning to tie or take the lead in this game before they run out of opportunities. The 9th inning is upon us. 1 error, the Astros. None for the Braves. The Braves have 11 hits. The Astros have 9. The Braves have 25 lobsters, and the Astros have 11. Now, what this tells me is that since the Braves have 8 runs on the board and 25 lobsters, they could actually have a lot more runs than what they do. They could very easily have 15 runs. Technically speaking, they should have 12. The Braves should have 12 runs on the board because they've had a lot more opportunities than what they've actually capitalized on. The Astros, on the other hand, with only 11 missed opportunities. But actually, with those numbers, the Astros should have 5 runs on the board. Right now, the score should be 12-5 Braves. If they actually drove in those lobsters at a respectable rate. At a baseline respectable rate. Raisel Iglesias on the mound. That's an interesting name. Zach Cole at the plate. First pitch is a strike. Second pitch, 88 at the bottom of the zone. Swing and a miss. Strike 2, just like that. Iglesias moves pretty quick, it looks like. Here comes the toss. High and outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Yeah, you're right, Christine. Christine says, I can't imagine yogurt drink tasting very good in coffee. It doesn't. 95 outside, 2-2 to Cole. But the funny thing is, when I bought that, I wasn't paying attention. And I put it into my cereal. You should have seen my face when I took that first bite. 95 above the zone, swing and a miss on the fastball. Cole goes down. Cole has done absolutely nothing today. I mean, he got a hit. But with 3 strikeouts. Well, let me rephrase that. He has a hit and an RBI. But considering the rest of his at-bats and the way the Astros are playing, it feels like nothing. Speaking of bats, the Batman himself is at the plate, fouls off the first pitch. I know it's not fair to say that Cole has done nothing. It just feels like that. That's all. I just wanted to correct myself there. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. 96 high and outside. Caratini fouls that one off, and it's 0-2. Jesse wants to know if the Astros can make a comeback. Yes, they can. Strike 3, right down the middle. The Batman decides not to swing the bat. He brings the tool. He shows up with the proper tool at the plate, but decides, you know what? I don't need to use it. 2 away. Pena is 1 for 4 today with a single. Let's see what the Flash can do here. He hits it straight up in the air on the very first pitch. First baseman is over and he puts it away, and that's going to be it. The Astros lose this game miserably, 8-3. So after winning convincingly in the first 2 games to a pretty bad team, the Astros come right back and they decide to take on the role of pretty bad team. And I don't know about you all, but I'm thinking maybe we could trade Framber Valdez right now while there's still an opportunity to get a real ace on the mound. That's sad. Definitely sad. Jesse's right, though. It's not like Atlanta's an elite team that can keep them from scoring, but the Astros bats have gone dormant again. Yep, that's because they're bipolar, as usual. Braden, thank you so much. I appreciate that. I've got a live score feed on there now, so nobody has to click away looking for scores. They can just look at the scores as they come up on the screen. I've even got the Houston Texans score up on the screen. Of course, they're not playing right now, but whenever they are playing while we're streaming here, you'll be able to see that score on the screen as well. That's right, Jesse. We're not in first place right now, but if the Angels can come back and win, what is the score? Let's take a look. That's probably more interesting to look at. Bottom of the second, one out. They're playing in Seattle. Yeah, it's 2-0 right now, Mariners. If the Angels can come back and win, we'll stay tied for first place. So right now, we're just kind of in limbo, waiting to see if we're going to be one game back or if we're going to be tied. It's going to be one of those two, right? One of those two. Let's jump over to the full scoreboard so we can see what else is going on around the Major League. We can forget about this game for a moment. The Rangers and the Mets. I wonder if this is a free game of the day. If this is a free game of the day, we can watch the extra innings of the Rangers. Let me check. Hey, it is. Check that out. If you guys are interested in seeing this, we can watch the extra innings and root for the Mets. Rowdy Tellez at the plate. It's in the 10th inning, the top of the 10th. Apparently runners are on first and third with 2 outs. Yeah, that's right. Good eye. Stanek on the mound. Former Astro. Wow, right in there. Swiffer for a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. Haven't seen Stanek in some little bit. He hits that one straight up in the air. Is it going to be playable? Yes, it is, but the third baseman, he's underneath and he puts it away, and that's out number 3. How about that? Good job for Ryan Stanek. That's Astro power he's got going on right there. Rowdy Tellez goes down. The Mets shut down the Rangers' bid for runs in the 10th. Bottom of the 10th coming up. The Mets have a chance to walk it off. Commercial break right now. We'll hang around and check out the extra innings game. I think that'll be interesting, right? But while they're on break, let's take a look at what the Astros have coming up tomorrow. They're going to be playing the Strangers tomorrow. Yeah, there's an update right there about Altuve. There's not much about it. He's just got foot pain, and he's resting right now, but they don't really have any updates yet. If we scroll down here to see, currently, if you look over here for game 1 tomorrow, right over here, you'll see that Jason Alexander is scheduled to pitch, followed by Christian Javier. But the Astros commentator said earlier that this is subject to change. So they might actually change this lineup. They're not sure yet. I don't know who they'd change it to. They can't use Hunter Brown or Valdez. I wouldn't want to use Valdez right now anyway, but can't use our main guys. So who are they thinking about using? I don't know. I think Alexander makes the most sense. They could go blue ball. Maybe they'll start him game 3. I don't know. We'll see. But that's who's on the mound against the Strangers starting tomorrow as it stands. Astros will be back in Houston for their last home games against the Strangers and the Submariners. So let's hope they can get something done. The New York Mets are coming to the plate in the bottom of the 10th right now. Kind of lucky that this is the free game of the day Typically, I can only watch Astros games, but I can also watch the free game of the day. Luis Carvello is on the mound for the Strangers. Lindor is on second base for the Mets. Here's the first. No, he comes off the mound and fakes a throw to second. Oh, they walked the first guy. We got runners on first and second. They intentionally walked the first guy. Alonso is at the plate. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss on that outside and low slider. Juan Soto was the first batter, and they walked him. They didn't want to pitch to him. So there are runners on first and second. Many fans on their feet. Here comes the pitch. Outside in the dirt. Dangerous pitch. Almost got away. 1 ball, 1 strike. Jesse, I'm going to trust that the Astros can take 2 of 3. But we'll see. It's up to them. Here's a 1-1 pitch. That's hit out to right field. It could be gone. That's going to be it. The Mets walk it off with a home run. A 3-run homer. Ha ha. How about that? The Mets just walked off the Rangers with an opposite field home run. How about that? They walked Soto intentionally to get to Alonso, and Alonso hits a 3-run shot to right field. The Mets walk it off 5-2 in the 10th inning. How about that? How about that? Man, I'm glad that I switched over to this game. That's great. That's great. Yes, thank you, Mets. Absolutely, Jesse. That's right. We needed this, especially today. Absolutely. Yeah, go home. Actually, go to Houston. Go on to Houston and get ready to get your butt spanked. Man, that was unbelievable. Just click over here to catch the tail end of the game. Extra innings just started. The Mets got out of a jam in the top of the 10th with runners on first and third. And then, boom, they intentionally walked Juan Soto. They didn't want to pitch to him. They bring up Alonso, and they pay for it. Opposite field homer, and the Mets win 5-2. How about that? That's good stuff right there. That's good baseball. That's just good baseball right there. All right. Well, thank you guys and gals so much for being here today. There's really not much else to say. I've got to get myself some more sleep. It's about 5:45 in the morning. The sun is starting to come up outside, but I need some sleep, so I'm going to go lie down. At least there's a silver lining on today, right? And there's still time for the Angels to come back and beat the Mariners. So, you know, there's hope. There's hope. I think maybe Trout gets his act together today and starts cracking some skulls, but we'll see. As always, thank you so much for being here. I will see you for Game 1 in Houston against the Strangers. The Astros did win the series. That's the main thing we wanted, right? It's true that the Astros didn't have a good game today, but the main thing that everybody was wanting is must-win series against the Braves. We must win the series, and we did that, right? 2 games out of 3. And that's the minimal that we needed to do. Got it done. Tomorrow, we need to start the same way. Start that off with some aggressive hitting, scoring, run up the score. Don't give them a chance to breathe and get 2 out of 3 at least. And then do the same to the Mariners. We get 2 out of 3 against the Rangers and 2 out of 3 against the Mariners. We'll be looking good. That's what I think. That's my opinion. Anyway, that's it for now. I love you guys and gals. Thank you for all the support. Thank you for the nice, positive comments in the chat. Thank you for being here. All the likes and the subs, etc., etc. For now, all I have left to say is go Stros, and I'll see you tomorrow's. Bye-bye.